friends and family. All right, so January 26, 2020. This is mostly to those of you that texted me today about the death of Kobe Bryant and called me, and I didn't respond. I apologize, but I figured this would probably be the best way for me to articulate my feelings and thoughts about it, and I can share with all of you guys. But this one hit me pretty hard. Like, I don't usually if you know, this isn't the first celebrity death that I've heard of, and usually it's like, yeah, that's unfortunate for them, but I mean, life moves on. They really have nothing to do with me. I definitely have nothing to do with them. But for some reason, this one hit me kind of tough, and I was trying to think of why, possibly the timing of it. Like, I didn't have much going on today, so the thoughts were able to just kind of linger on. And also some of the life transitions, life situations that I've found myself in lately, they kind of allowed this news to impact me in a way that maybe it wouldn't have if it happened at a different time. But I'm thinking of the way the legacy, the memory of Kobe Bryant has impacted me. And I think for me, and maybe for those of you that are like me, that grew up when I did, or where I did, or how I did, this guy kind of encapsulates us as young adults that grew up living a certain lifestyle, athletic lifestyle, kind of a creative lifestyle. He had some style and personality, and that they evolved in a way that made him kind of he lost himself a little bit, and then he kind of found himself again, and then he was kind of picking up steam, and then it seemed like the sky was the limit, up to and including his retirement aspirations. So I think I wrote some notes down, and maybe this will better help me explain kind of what I'm talking about. So I feel like he was a really good example of how you can parlay your work accomplishments into a life of your own choosing. And I think it was really inspiring because sometimes we think, or maybe sometimes I think that my best days are behind me, or if there's anything I wanted to do, well, like, it's too late for that, and that ship has kind of sailed, and like the opportunity's not there anymore. But for him, I can't think of a better example of somebody that really never surrendered to the possibility that his best days were behind him. Not when he was going through the scandal with his personal stuff, not when when Shaq got traded, not through injuries, not when he was like losing records on his team, and not even when he retired. Like, I think he always had the attitude that his best days were ahead of him, and I think it's very inspiring. And to me, it never really faltered. I never saw it, and I think it's kind of inspired me to think ahead instead of just kind of like acknowledging that I've had some nice memories in the past, but I'm like, those are gonna be the highlights of my life. Like, because of people like Kobe Bryant, I don't think like that, and I think it's kind of made me a better person, or at least I like myself better by thinking that way. Kobe also, I wrote a note here that he was able to let go of parts of his life or himself that no longer spark joy. And of course, it's debatable whether they were good decisions or not, but I think for him, I think of like his relationship with his parents. I think of his contractual decisions when he didn't want to get traded, then he did want to get traded. I think about his stubbornness in wanting to maybe have the ball a lot, or his minutes played, or his ability or inability to get along with his coaches. There were certain things that he did his own way, and he was pretty unapologetic about it. And I think, you know, in some ways it kind of works against him, and for a lot of us, actually, it works against us sometimes. But I think for him, when you understand your purpose and you understand you're very specific on what your goals are, then this can really work in your favor. And it's another thing that I kind of take away from my memories of him, his life. He was able to, this is more post-retirement, but he was able to chase his personal ambitions without deprioritizing his responsibilities as a husband and father. So, he started writing, he started doing storytelling, he started doing a lot of different things, like away from basketball. and some of them were influenced by his family, but some of them weren't, and they were just his own way. And I think that he was able to really find the balance between, or he was able to synergize those two methods of the way he uses his time throughout the day, to where he doesn't have to sacrifice the things that really matter to him. And again, it's another thing that I feel like maybe it's I don't think that is really being broadcast as one of his mainstream accomplishments, but that's something I think I noticed in what I was reading or studying or witnessing whenever I would hear his name pop up in certain conversations or certain articles and stuff. So this one is really cool. He, even now in his death, he is a reminder that while your previous life is over, and it's completely over, your new life is just beginning, right? Time is a constant thing that never really slows down. It never really takes a break. It never backs up. And for all of us, I think for whatever reason, it's something that we kind of take for granted sometimes, that we think that maybe we paid our dues, so now we deserve some kind of rewards, or we have kind of a sense of entitlement for certain things in life. And with him, I think that his some of the challenges he had to go through, some of the experiences that he went through, it reminded people like me that, man, whatever you did in the past, that's cool that you have that in your memory. No one can take that away from you, but those mean nothing to you if you still have that mindset of your best days are in front of you, you know? If your best days are in front of you, then you can't spend too much time just like appreciating and settling on what you've already accomplished, right? The ambition has to be forward thinking, has to be kind of in the future, and as a result, that's the best way to make your goals still realistic. Oh, even from number 8 to number 24 was a big deal, because it's like, look, everything I've done is number 8. That was great, but look, I still believe that there's still more in me. And I actually, for me, I feel like I connect more with his number 24 career as opposed to his number 8 career, because of him refusing to settle. And I think it's kind of a simple thing to say, but he actually did it. And it was really inspiring. So I guess there's other ones. Again, it was pretty sad afternoon of just kind of just thinking about it. And he lost his daughter too. Oh my goodness. So when I heard the news, I was actually napping with my daughter, and that put things a lot in perspective. It makes me think about what their last moments were like, and there's so much there. Like, I probably don't want to even get into that, because that's going to take the rest of the night to even try to sort through and organize those thoughts. But for now, I'll just say, like, man, my heart goes out to him and his family, of course. He has impacted my life in a way that no one else has. And I guess that's it.